The river system serves as a representation of this pharmaceutical madness, from corporate contributions to the doctor's moral dilemma, wrapping up with the end of the addict's journey. The next slides showcase important points in this river of addiction. The first slide equates the river source to corporate contributions. It shows the isolation of higher power companies and how these payments are related to the addict's journey. This next slide compares the tributaries, which feed the river, to the types and methods by which sales representatives tempt doctors. Payments rise into the thousands to compensate doctors for speaking engagements and attending promotional events for the drug. The relationship between the patient and doctor is complex when alternative motives come into play. Are they looking out for the best interests of your health, or are they trying to increase the volume of prescriptions to preserve a steady stream of income? The levee, which is a naturally occurring or man-made feature that controls flooding, signifies a fork in the road. Does the addict seek help through rehabilitation, or let the addiction get out of control and run rampant? To better communicate my research, I have written a script for a play called Pharmaceutical Madness, a modern-day tragedy. The play is about a young woman by the name of Anna Lucille Rosemary, who's dreaming about confronting the entities that have betrayed her doctor, and a man who sits on Purdue Pharma's board of directors. She's only 32 years of age, but has been addicted to painkillers for many months since the completion of her reconstructive knee surgery. We jump into Scene 3, Destructive Delirium. A folder sits on the table in front of Anna. On the cover are the words Mr. Anonymous. Anna then glances up only to see the glowing letter A that shines red on her chest. A man in a suit sits across from her.
Who are you? What the fuck have you done with my daughter?
All I can reveal is my first name. We are allowing you to know that my name is Derek, and I'm somebody more important than you. I've come here from the highest of heights to cater to your futile attempt at justice. I'm a man who's part of a much larger entity who's mastered the craft of sweeping our problems under a heavy rug. I'm known as the exterminator among the corporate ranks, and I'm the equivalent of a 5-star general who's fought many wars over many decades. You have cracked the veil of secrecy that the doctor failed to preserve. I'm here to repair those cracks. You are guilty of asking the wrong questions.
Why does the A shine bright on my chest?
The A symbolizes the shame and guilt of an addict. You're the main causation of your own misfortune. Many people have been branded with this tag, and you're not unique in any way. This is a business, and I'm a businessman. I make sure that our business model is sustainable, and that the empire we built will never crumble. The pain medicine's only the trigger. I'm here to milk your well-earned money until your bank account runs thin or you've given up the will to live. It's quite the business model, wouldn't you say, Anna?
I don't have any other source of money. My daughter can't even get up some mornings because she's sick with hunger. You can kill me, but there is no way you can take my daughter. Leave her out of this, and I promise I will stop pursuing the truth. I just need one more prescription to tide me over, just for a little bit longer.
Look how weak you are, Anna. Give it up already. Don't waste my time and make this easy for me. Just read the list of grievances from that silly little folder in front of you, and we can both go on our ways. Time is money.
Mr. Derek, I challenge the conniving and manipulating pharmaceutical giants that run the show. I am pointing my finger directly at you, Purdue Pharma, one of the leading manufacturers of painkillers in the United States. Moral bridges are fractured when the unsuspecting public is prodded by misleading marketing techniques. Yes, I know you are Purdue Pharma.
Assumptions don't hold up too well in court, my dear.
As a controlling figurehead in Purdue Pharma, let me ask you this question. To what extent should the FDA use oversight to control malpractice in the private sector? States such as West Virginia have settled suits against your corporation, accusing the company of not telling doctors, pharmacists, and patients about the morphine-like addictive qualities in your product. While the drug is deemed safe when used as instructed, the preventative measures you instilled were blatantly outweighed by a need to sell more pills.
So you want an admission of guilt? Is that all you desire? Fine. You're right about all of this. But put yourself in my shoes for a moment. Say I was trying to sell you chocolate bars and advertise them with the line, dark chocolate possesses active nutrients that help lower your risk of heart disease. You can only have one a day because your parents don't let you have any more than that. Isn't there a small possibility that you'll grow fond of the sweet taste and the sugar-high sensation over the course of time? In moderation, the treat could lower your risk of heart disease and inflict minimal harm to your health. In excess, the treat could lead to weight gain and preventable diseases like diabetes. I treat the sale of these drugs as if I was selling you a candy bar. Could it be harmful? Yes. But I'd like to think that as adults, people have a little bit of self-control.
You treat people as if they are all uniformly equal. It's kind of like how the educational system is flawed in administering standardized testing. How can there be a universally recognized test that determines one's intelligence level? Each person is intelligent in unique areas, and each person who takes medicine is not going to succeed at practicing self-control with the designated drug. You are inhumane. Just for a second, put yourself in my shoes. Does it make me less of a person because my body reacted chemically to drugs? Do I have to take drugs in order to function normally? Yes. A drug-induced reality has...
Why don't you just calm down so we can have a civilized conversation?
No, I will not calm down. Okay? Let's see if a legal suit that was settled about a decade ago rings any bells. Your employer, Purdue Pharma, was ordered to pay the state of West Virginia $10 million in 2004 to contribute to the $30 million that was spent by state agencies on OxyContin between 1996 to 2003. How can you explain this type of burden you put on state agencies to combat your malpractice? Some people said that we shouldn't focus on suing companies. Rather, we should try to implement strategies that educate prescribers and highlight prevention.
Well, excuse me, but this company...
I am still fearful and think that as long as there is a private sector, the greed will go unregulated, because outreach can only go so far. You must implement responsible business practices that will help thousands after me. I can continue to give you reports and statistics, but I will exhaust myself.
Anna, we're taking the appropriate steps in the right direction. Don't get me wrong, we've made some dire mistakes, but listen closely and take some notes. Our corporation has complied with the FDA by limiting the duration of daily usage to 90 days. We've also complied by changing the word moderate from labeling to moderate to severe for suggested usage pertaining to an individual's level of pain. We've limited our representatives' ability to use coercive techniques to get doctors to write more prescriptions by sending them to educational summits. This change in the amount of dosages, change in suggested medical language, and educational approach to a solution has made us different. You must trust us, Anna.
All I can say is that you have displayed some truthfulness, but I have the most damning evidence of all. You are Purdue Pharma L.P. and under your watchful eye made over $2 million in payments to hospitals and physicians in the year of 2013. The frivolous nature of this spending leads me to believe that you can't keep your hand out of the cookie jar. If you do not hear this plead, I'm afraid it may be too late. I am not a cancer patient. I am not dying physically. I had a minor knee operation 9 months ago and was prescribed an opioid. You promoted the drug for usage in patients with non-cancer pain and permitted this use for long periods of time. Individuals around the country, like myself, are alleging that you funded advocacy groups, expanded markets by educating physicians about opioid benefits, and released misleading ads, in all an attempt to increase profits. You can't hurt me. None of this is real.
Oh, Anna, that's where you're very wrong.